Now, for more than 50 years, workers at the Slazenger factory in Barnsley made tennis balls that were used at the world's biggest tournaments, including Wimbledon. It's now 20 years since the factory closed, and an exhibition starts tomorrow telling its unlikely story. Ian White can serve us up some details.
It's 20 years since Barnsley's Slazenger tennis ball factory closed its gates for the last time. But now its fascinating history is being celebrated in a new exhibition.
The story begins really right back at the end of World War II, when the government were keen for people to take up sports and leisure again. So they decided to open a huge factory in Barnsley and Wakefield, and that's where the history of tennis balls in Barnsley started. And we made every ball, every Slazenger's ball, every Wimbledon ball, every tournament ball across the globe right through until 2002.
Whenever there was a big Wimbledon moment, a tennis ball from Barnsley played a part.
50,000 balls were made for the 2 weeks of the tournament in Barnsley, and it is literally every single ball. And the workers of the factory are incredibly proud of the fact that they made that. That was made in Barnsley.
Labour now led 5-1 in set 3.
The factory employed hundreds and hundreds of people from all walks of life. It did mainly employ women as well, and the factory process, or the factory allowed for women to work split shifts so they could bring up families at the same time. So it really was a financial lifeline for lots of people.
Even the Bard of Barnsley, Ian Macmillan, worked at the factory and has written a special poem for the exhibition.
Ian worked at the factory in the 70s, and in fact he wrote some of his very first poems whilst he was on the buff and dip machine, and we've got a poetry book that's covered in splashes of rubber.
You can't actually have a game of tennis here, but this 1970s video game is the next best thing.
And an exhibition about tennis balls wouldn't be an exhibition about tennis balls without these two, would it? Lovely Sue and the lovely Cliff. Aren't they smashing?
In every country across the world that has a Slazenger's ball, there's a little globe, a little yellow globe of Barnsley kind of that people play with, so that's a nice thing.
If you're up for a trip down memory lane, you can visit the exhibition at Barnsley Town Hall from 10 a.m. tomorrow. Ian White, BBC Look North, Barnsley.
Looks great, doesn't it? Thank you, Ian. Now we're on